Hey there folks, Viral here from the Bluescreen Bronies. Now, normally we'd have Draco or D-Pad or even Crescendo here to give us their lovely opinion on some of the video game news. But this week, we're going to do an Everfree Northwest wrap-up, but I don't have any of those people here. But I do have the ever-useful to Everfree network, the one, the only, Ramble.
Hey there. Thanks, Viral. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I am still recovering from that convention.
Ugh, no kidding. I somehow managed to avoid con crud, though.
I did too. Like LPU, I think that knocked out most of our staff for a couple weeks, but it was so draining. They only had four venues or something, but there was a lot of programming.
Yeah, definitely a lot more stuff to do this year. In that case, why don't we just start off at the beginning? So when did you actually get there, Ramble?
I got there on the 3rd. Couldn't really do any setup because none of the equipment or anything was down there. It was all coming down with Cowboy Dave. So a couple of us were just kind of hanging out, seeing the downtown area because they got the tram right there. Like, I don't know if anyone's planning on going next year. If you get there in advance, it's only like a 30-minute ride downtown. They got the that market, by the water there. I don't know, it was good. And then there was the 4th of July, but that was a bit of a gong show because that was when everyone was arriving. So it's like, hey, we're going to head down and see the fireworks. Nope, got to get badges sorted out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on the fireworks. What was our 4th of July thing? We all met at the Denny's and went back to the hotel room and passed out.
So many people the last year because it was at the Holiday Inn, right? Which was basically right next to the Denny's, and everyone's like, oh, that stupid Denny's, I'm never going back there. And that's half of what people did. Anytime people were going for food, it's like all these pipe dreams of going to actual restaurants, and you end up back at the Denny's again.
Yeah, we actually did manage to, when Draco arrived, we went with him, my brother, and Tim Grobner to this little place in the International District. I think it was like Ming's or Ping's. I can't remember the name of it, but it was this little hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurant. The guy serving us didn't speak a lick of English, but dear God, were those pork dumplings delicious.
But yeah, that would have been like, what, $5 trip and like an hour round, or hour and a half round trip. Like, that's a big absence for the... Like, that's the problem, is that the convention is going pretty much all day. It's up at 9, and like pretty much every day is going until 2 in the morning. They had Pony Stock, the acoustic one, on Friday night. And that was actually Michelle Krieber had her concert in there as well. And then they had the kind of the electronic segment, Pony Stock, on Saturday, so I know that there were some pretty late nights there.
Oh yeah, okay. Now, as far as the registration went, I could definitely say 1,000 times better than last year.
There were a lot of concerns and complaints that cropped up last year. They really ironed out. Granted, there's still delays because I think they had some issues with some badges going missing or something. I don't forget the reason. I really forget the reason. But you couldn't just give your registration. You actually had to show ID for the registration line this year, which, I mean, it was a blessing and a curse because my badge ended up in limbo for quite some time.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that badge issue, and somehow I end up with all of the EFN badges.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that. And they did pre-reg badges on the 4th as well.
Yeah, that definitely helped with having, let you get your badges early.
Oh no, for sure.
Now, on Friday, when the con started, I ended up having to do quite a bit of running around to make sure everything was actually set for the Bluescreen Bronies panel. So, you, however, were in the main stage. Care to give us some highlights?
Oh Lord, highlights. Well, I got to say, working at these conventions, it's I was in the back on a laptop for most of it, so I kind of popped my head up occasionally and managed to glean some of the convention awesomeness that was going on. But I wouldn't. I was there, but I wouldn't necessarily say I attended the convention. Ceremonies, opening ceremonies, it's like there's usually nothing too great. Though they did work out. Actually, in the opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies, I think if people have seen some of the video that was posted, they actually kind of worked like a skit with some people kind of going on, and that kind of is to bookend the convention, and that was kind of nice. That was a little bit of a little extra touch outside the regular programming, and it keeps the opening ceremonies. I think that was kind of the royal coronation part that they talk about in the programming. It wasn't just like oh hi, welcome, everyone worked real hard, which is, I mean, it's good. That's kind of when you show your appreciation, and it's kind of to get everything started, but it's sort of distinguished, the opening and closing ceremonies a little bit. It's made it a little more interesting. But other than that, actually, what did they have? They had the Pinkie Pie's Party Hour.
Oh god, that was hilarious. I think it's actually up on YouTube by now.
It is. No, if people haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend that, because, like, I'd been at PAX in 08, right? And you've got Left 4 Dead, you've got Dead Space, you've got StarCraft 2, you've got all these big games releasing, and at the Omegathon, which is kind of this convention-long Iron Man competition of gaming for, people that have signed up for it, comes down to the finale, where it's kind of before the concert closing ceremony type stuff at the end. So it's standing room only. The room is bloody packed, and the game that comes on is Excitebike Versus.
What?
Like this 8-bit Excitebike, yes, and just the room just erupts in this like howling cheer, and it was an incredible sensation to just kind of be there. And it's out of all these like tremendous games that were Fallout 3, that the panels you could play it, that was at 08 too, right? And what got, I think, the biggest response out of the entire convention was Excitebike Versus, and that's what it felt like a bit, watching like this entire room watching Andrea Libman and Peter New just going toe-to-toe in a game of Jenga like that. And it went for a good, for a while. They were actually pretty good at that.
Yeah, what was it? They almost doubled the height of the tower?
I'd have to check that. I don't know if someone must have written it down, but that just went on, man. They were good.
Yeah, what other games were there? I know there was Operation, which wasn't as entertaining, and then there was Hungry Hungry Hippos, I think?
Yeah, Hungry Hungry Hippos. It was the sort of 2-on-2 Hungry Hungry Hippos, and I think that there's a nice gif of that out there with Peter New kind of just taking the board and kind of flipping it or something.
I was actually a little surprised that during the Jenga match, one of them didn't just flip the table.
Oh, yeah, but it's gotten that far. That, I don't know, like, Hungry Hungry Hippos, there's not a lot of investment that goes into Hungry Hungry Hippos, but when you're like 20 minutes into a game of Jenga, it's on at that point, right? You don't want, there's honor on the line, so.
I'm trying to remember what I was doing, because I had to leave during the middle of that panel. Oh yeah, trying to find out what was going on with the gaming room. Because there were a lot of issues surrounding two very big games within this fandom, My Little Investigations and Legends of Equestria, because unfortunately, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong, neither of them were set up until at least Saturday.
Ooh.
But that didn't stop people from going into the rooms to play the My Little Karaoke thing.
That I had a chance to play that last year. That was pretty awesome. But actually, before we kind of get into perhaps the gaming room here, do you want to introduce? I believe we have a new guest that joined us.
Oh, he snuck in while I wasn't looking. Well, everyone, we have a special guest here, Kinero of the KPNY show. I probably butchered that, but I'll let you take over.
Wait, I'm a special guest today?
Well, special in a very loose sense of the word.
I just thought this was the party room.
It is.
Yeah, I'm Kinero from KPNY. actually one of the, as we call the new blood on the block on EFN. We just got picked up recently, and I was there helping these wonderful gentlemen up at the convention at Everfree Northwest.
It saved my butt so many times, seriously.
Is that post-taco trauma or after?
Oh, you mean pre-taco trauma?
Oh, yeah, pre-taco trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, God, now I've forgotten where we were.
Gaming room. I passed by that. Like I was running either from one place to the next. I really didn't get a chance to, unfortunately, stop in and partake of that particular venue. But I did. It seemed to have like a good turnout anytime that I had passed by. So.
Yeah, especially once Legends of Equestria got set up. Oh God, the line for that room was ridiculous.
Didn't they have a sign up, do not log out when you're finished? Like there was an issue with either just the demand on the server or like some issue getting signed in, but whenever they had any of the machines that successfully were in, they basically said just leave it. Whoever's going to come after you will just pick it up from there.
Well, I think this weekend was supposed to be, or last weekend at the time of this recording, was supposed to be a stress test, and dear God did they get the stress part right. They choked the login servers. So yeah, you got in, stay online or you're not getting back in.
Well, hopefully they get that part sorted out, because yeah, login is a bit of a bottleneck. I know that. Well, I can't really. You can't fault them too much, because let's be honest, AAA games don't even have their bloody login things together.
Oh yeah, World of Warcraft. Every time you get a new expansion for that thing, good luck getting in on patch day.
SimCity, you know.
Horrible memories.
Oh, you don't tell me you picked that up. Don't tell me you picked that up.
I have it, and you know what? It was probably, love the game now, but horrible to play when I first got it. I couldn't do it. But you know what? At least they did the stress test of everything they needed to do at the con during that weekend, and they got the results they needed, unlike Diablo 3.
When you have a stress test as well, I mean, it's not, you're trying to set up for, punishing your servers. You're not exactly simulating a regular load, I guess, as it were. So whatever problems they're having now, even if they don't make a ton of changes to remediate them, you're probably not going to run into that exact scenario, except, around launch or something like that.
Indeed. Now, didn't you actually try and give something to one of the VAs at one point, Ramble?
Oh, give. No, actually, there was a managed to get in on it was the Sunday. It was around 9. They just had a quick autograph session for staff and everyone else that pretty much is dedicating their weekend to working and helping the con, carry on. Managed to. I had I think you have a link to it, don't you?
It might be up on the screen right now.
Oh, I don't. Okay. Oh, there we go. It was sort of the special mission outfit, I guess, Fluttershy from the Magic Duel episode. Just a figure that I had commissioned off DeviantArt, and I was just like, oh, it's kind of cool, and thought I'd bring it, get it signed or something. I don't usually do that too often, but Andrea was going to be there. I thought it'd be a good opportunity, and it was a bit of a wake up call, because I mean, the VAs go to a lot of these conventions. They're going to these all the time, and I don't think I'd run into any fans of the show that didn't really recognize, because there was a lot of art and other stuff like that was done after this episode. Pretty much everyone seemed to recognize her or the episode when they saw it, but didn't ring any bells for Andrea. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess that they don't necessarily pay as much attention to the show as a lot of us do they?
Well, when you work on it for so long, it can it's like, I worked on this for like 12 hours, I really don't want to sit down and watch it 5 months later.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's understandable, but it was just one of those, like, oh yeah, moments that, they're here, they're hanging out with a lot of people, and they seem to be having a good time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, they spend as much time. Like, they're working on the show. They're not necessarily enjoying the show like a lot of us do.
You have to remember, too, as well, like I said, you know, they work on this show for, you know, God knows how many hours throughout the day, and just to make it all come together for one episode, maybe months down the line, who knows if they do get to see the episode the day of. So they do spend a lot of time just getting it to that point. So, you know, just that vague memory might be there. Oh yeah, I remember doing that. And then, you know, to some people, they've already been swamped with so many other projects, not just My Little Pony related, but everything else that they do for a living. So it could just be a slight little memory that's lost way back in the subconscious now at that point.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's, you know, even, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's been, you know, in part of show production, you know, can have that go on as well. Because even, you know, several VAs, several writers, you know, even some of the storyboard artists have been like, you know, attending several cons, or, you know, even as guests have said, oh yeah, I vaguely remember doing that. You know, they're credited for doing that because they do it, but, you know, just being so swamped and overloaded with everything else that goes on. You know, one little memory can definitely be lost somewhere in translation months down the line, if not years.
Oh no, definitely. So, Kinnear, like, what kind of panels? Because I think you were hanging out in the main stage area a lot of the time too. But any other panels kind of stick out to you that you particularly enjoy? A little different than the kind of conventional fare, because they usually do. Like they had the writer one. They had Sibsy, the storyboarding one, which was a little different because can't recall her at a. I remember she was at Everfree last year, but I don't believe she was on a panel. She was just kind of visiting.
She was just a guest.
Yeah.
Well, I was mostly helping the stream team for EFN in main panel hall for the majority, if not all of the con. But I think some of the panels that did stand out to me, I'm pretty sure you guys already covered the Jenga panel, which was hilarious.
Yes.
You know, especially with certain people coming in with their engineer degrees and trying to prove the other one wrong.
And losing.
And still losing. I think one of my absolute favorites, and I'm pretty sure Viral will definitely be able to at least back me up on this, when Miss Rogers during the writing panel got out her ukulele and started
ridiculous.
Started singing Pink Fluffy Unicorns Dancing on Rainbows because someone had sent her the chord progression and how to play it and sing it at the con.
Yeah, that was Draco, wasn't it?
That was. I remember actually Draft showing her the video on his. Was it his phone, or I think it might have been Draco's? Yes, because she ran off with Draco's phone. So like this was. I think it was before the opening ceremonies. It was before kind of everything went crazy, and I mean, obviously, you know, if it was at the opening ceremony, she didn't have a lot of time to learn the chords. But, you know, people were just hanging around in the main stage a bit when everything was getting set up. And it was kind of brought up to her. It's like, you need to play this on your panel. So people have to give her credit for that because, you know, simple chord progression or not, she was just kind of tossed a phone, you know, like 2 hours ahead of time and said, play this on your panel, people will love it. And she delivered, right?
She did an amazing job for the short prep time that she had, and I kid you, I think I have some audio. No, I don't have the audio recording ready to play, unfortunately, but I think I have some snippets recorded with some audio recorder stuff that I was doing at Everfree Northwest for you guys, hearing the crowd just cheer when she started singing.
Yeah, I know Draco was in the middle of actually ripping that from the panel footage when, ironically, his computer blue screened.
Oh, hold on, can we get someone to queue up the CSI Miami? Never mind.
No, I don't have access to that, but I have something just as good, which Draco will kill me for. So everyone thinks that Draco's a baby dragon. Well, what do you guys think?
Oh no. Is it what I think it is? Oh yes. There he is.
I'm just gonna leave that there for a couple minutes.
We'll leave it there. That's fine. He's not here. He can't make you remove it.
Yeah, Draco's not here. You know, doesn't he just look so adorable in his spike hat? Just remember that next time you see him, you give him a nice little poke, whether it's on Twitter or during the chat next time he's on. Tell him he's an adorable baby dragon.
Oh, he's gonna kill you, Viral.
Oh, please. He's been trying to kill me since, we started the podcast back in September of last year.
Touche. Now, okay, I really gotta know, because didn't that hat come from... Like, you were getting him a hat, but both him and I were texting you for... I can't remember what it was about. I'd have to check my phone.
You needed the password for my laptop because it had gotten locked.
Right. Nobody bothered to have given it to me or whatever. But for some reason, I think that you had responded to my text regarding the hat, and I was like, "Oh, a Spike hat." Isn't that why you'd picked it up, or?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a legitimate. I don't know if it was a legitimate mix-up or not.
Well, I was planning on getting him the hat as. I saw that message come through from you. It's like, get it. I was like, okay, done. And then about 2 minutes later, it's like, oh, crud.
Oh, God, that makes it all worthwhile.
But you know what? He got the best payment of all, especially for him being a part of Bluescreen Bronies. He got paid in a hat. Like, Team Fortress 2. Fine, whatever. I guess I'm just about to...
Oh, it's terrible. Get out.
I think this is a good time to go into a little teaser for the Bluescreen Bronies panel.
Alright, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Dragons!
Gallstaff, you have entered the door to the north. You are now by yourself, standing in a dark room. The pungent stench of mildew emanates from the wet dungeon walls.
Where are the Cheetos?
They're right next to you. I cast a spell.
Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh. I want to cast a spell.
Can I have a Mountain Dew?
Yes, you can have a Mountain Dew. Just go get it.
No stars tonight?
I guess I'm a little out of practice.
Tell you what, I'll do the stars tonight if you help me with the sunrise in the morning.
Okay.
There is nothing in this world quite so amazing as the first winter snow. The first few flakes falling from the sky, signifying a great change.
When you decide not to be lame anymore, give me a call. Lyra? That kills people, Lyra. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Rated P for every pony.
Chin up, guys. There is still lots of stuff to try, you know?
So, what did you guys think of that? Ramble, Kaniro, we're back.
Yeah.
Excuse no. I accidentally unplugged the USB on my microphone because my feet are awesome.
Kaniro.
You know what? I've been recording all day. Okay, well, what I'm actually really interested in seeing, I actually want to see how Project Dash, develops, and of course, just like everyone else in the fandom, I want to see how Legends of Equestria turns out once it finally hits its official release.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I recall correctly, we didn't actually get a chance to talk to Project Dash, because near the end, I think we had like 9 people on that panel. Ponytails was actually just sitting in a chair off the side of the stage.
Oh no. Yeah, you guys had a good turnout too for that, didn't you?
And correct me if I'm mistaken, but I was in the main panel hall while this was happening, but I heard rumors that they were even having to turn people away from the panel room because it was full.
Yeah, looking at the picture I snapped halfway through, it wasn't exactly full, but it was still causing issues with the fire code.
Ah, well, see, look, they had to still turn people away, and for that, was that your Bluescreen Bronies' first official panel?
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's probably going to be better than what I do, but no, that was pretty outstanding for turnout, so.
And I think that is I think a lot of people there also wanted to just hear about these projects and how they're going, and what's I guess the next milestones or timelines, I guess, for them, because there have been a lot of projects that people have been just rabid over. Unfortunately, some of them are no longer with us, but it's nice to see like concrete proof that there's still a huge demand for these a huge demand and interest for these projects, to even just for the people doing them to keep them going. It's not like you're going to release and people are going to be that's nice, I guess. There's people that just can't wait for these to come out.
Yeah, it's like these games that are here, they're ones that I am genuinely interested in playing. The role-playing is magic. I'd love to get a group together to actually play that. My Little Investigations, I've never played any of the Ace Attorney games, so it's like I don't have a point of reference, so, fresh blood. Legends of Equestria, I'd love to actually just explore and see what story they've come up with.
And even then, even over the past year or so, we've seen a lot of games, rise and fall, and, to see that these are still making their headway and they're still doing such amazing work, it's got me genuinely excited to see what developed.
Indeed. Kaniro, were you at Everfree Northwest last year?
Unfortunately not. It was actually too late for me. I had just started discovering the con scene for My Little Pony. I think it was 1 week to Everfree Northwest.
I was just wondering, since you're a latecomer to the podcast tonight, Ramble and I were talking about how this compared to last year, but since you weren't there for last year, any comparison to a con you may have been to?
Yeah, actually, I've been to quite a few. I've been to Equestria LA both this year and last year. The Las Pegasus Unicon, which unfortunately we have to leave it at that. Out of all the cons I have seen, I love all of you, to the bottom of my heart, but this year at Everfree Northwest, first time attendee to that con specifically, such amazing organization, with the exception of the registration issue at the beginning. But hey, that was because a lot of people turned up, and that was a shock that was no fault of anybody, but such great organization, even on, from getting panel started, damage control, security, everything. I was so genuinely impressed. I mean, I even got to sit down and talk with some of the, wonderful people of the con staff, and, seeing where they pulled their volunteers from, what their backgrounds were. Everything was just amazing. I was blown away. Best con I've been to yet.
Yeah, indeed. BronyCon's going to be hard-pressed to actually top this, although I think they may have Everfree Northwest beat in terms of sheer numbers.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they broke 5,000 pre-reg. I think pre-reg is closed either today or tomorrow. And, their guide is out for scheduling and everything, and I think that it's something like 150 hours of programming.
God.
That's going to be a lot of content, so, I gotta see it all! But
there's just, oh my god, I cannot believe it, but actually, Kinero, sorry to tangent, but it's what I do. You'd mentioned LPU, and actually that did crop up again at the charity auction this year.
Really?
Peter New had, I don't know if you guys were there.
Was it
Peter
the story about his hat?
It was, there was the story about the hat, but he also had, Peter New signed, he still had a LPU Con t-shirt, and he signed it there. They had it up because they had like a webcam, you could see up on the screens, the items, and he signed it, Best Con Ever, Peter New. And I think that went along with one other item, which I cannot remember, unfortunately, and a half-eaten Big Mac hamburger.
Okay, best auctiony item I've ever seen. I've seen the half-eaten Big Mac by Peter New. Oh, that was phenomenal. And you know what? Even throughout the lights, the ups and downs, everyone, seeing at this con, everyone was still able to look back and still, get a good laugh and remember, we're still strong about it. And that's something. It still brings me a lot of joy to see all that happen still.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Although, the thing that really makes me love these conventions is not the panels, is not anything that happens inside the venue. It is meeting all your friends. All these people that you've never met or talked to, and finding out you have a lot more in common than you think. And I think that is summed up beautifully this year in our little trip to the AFK Tavern.
Oh, such a wonderful experience, even at the AFK Tavern, meeting with people during the con. Not to sidetrack from AFK Tavern, because I do want to get to that, because that was an amazing day.
Funny little picture from there that might look familiar to you. Ramble,
no.
I don't know if you were here when this happened.
I don't believe I was. We were late getting, there were some interviews that just ran. Oh no. Oh. Okay, where did those come from? Because when we got there were a bunch of people with those floating around, and I have no idea if someone brought them or they originated there. What was the deal with those?
Okay, so story was Osaka Jack. I'm pretty sure all of our listeners, viewers know that he's from Japan. Travels quite a long way to make the con this year. He came with these masks with him to the AFK Tavern, and I'm actually sitting next to him. That's the wonderful arm next to me on the right hand of the screen. He hands me this mask and he says, "Here you go, have fun with it." So, mind you, I've been carrying my aviator sunglasses with me the entire con. I put this mask on, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this. But yeah, he had a couple, quite a few of us had a lot of fun wearing these masks and just messing with each other, just having a good time. As you can see, there's a lot of smiles going on in the picture. Everyone was just having a blast, and I wish I could have stayed longer.
Oh, there's some people in the chat that are inquiring about what this specific tavern is all about. Viral, do you want to field that?
I will do it as best I can. The AFK Tavern is a video game themed bar restaurant. whatever you want to call it. But, their entire, everything from their drinks to the menu to the decor is game themed. If I had a little more time, I could actually go to my Everfree Northwest pictures from last year and find a couple.
They have. There's on the table along with the drink menu, there's actually a menu for, you can order games to play, like board games or strategy games or things like that. And there's other consoles around. But like the decor, everything. The drink menu is the guide to summoning spirits, which is a hilarious pun there. I love it.
And that place is so wonderful in it for being a video game themed bar. Everything you had to order in a specific manner. Let's say you wanted a hamburger, but you wanted it with bacon. You actually had to say, I want to get a hamburger with a bacon modifier on it. I kid you not. You had to say that or the waitress would give you a dirty look. They were having fun with it. But, you had to order food a certain way. Every beverage, every drink, alcoholic and not, actually had, did it actually have an EXP rating on it at the end of the day?
I think there was one of them that did.
Yeah, they got their menu online. If anyone wants to check it out, it's worth just reading for the hell of it. I mean, it's well put together. So. And they had a lot of pony drinks there too, which I think were there last year. I think there might have been some new ones this year, but
the Sonic Rain Boom was one of them?
Oh, that was a good one.
I wanted to try it.
And I just deafened the audience. Woo!
Shame on you.
Shame.
Shame. We know your name.
Yeah.
But it was such a wonderful, wonderful little place, especially all the specialty drinks, all the little things that they were able to do for us, and great staff, great everything, Had to put up with this one more year, but we love them for it. They did such an amazing job, though.
Oh yeah, and I don't think that they're gonna be barring us from there anytime soon. The staff had nothing to say, nothing but good things to say, like at the end of the night, just about being able to. Then again, I don't think like a lot of gamers are that bad, but you could basically have the place packed and nobody's saying, hey, where's my this or where's my that, because I mean, you throw 60, 80 plus people into a place, you have to expect a bit of delay.
Found one of the pictures. That is from the main hallway there, so yeah.
And the decor was awesome. You saw tons of stuff from many different video games. Even the curtains for the bar had a gaming controller from every system, dating back from Atari, wasn't it? And they were using them as curtain holders, wrapping them up so that they could. And
they had a composite video cable as well.
I'll have to make a donation to upgrade them one to an HDMI in the near future or next year.
Oh, blasphemy.
I have a couple pictures of some of the drinks, but I have a feeling Final Draft might not like me posting that on the site.
Yeah, I don't know, but we can discuss the specific menu items, can we not?
We probably could.
I don't see any harm with that. There's no harm with that, right?
Yeah, especially. Well, not to talk too much alcohol anyway, but I was sad that my favorite drink, if I ordered it, they would have called me a noob.
Oh, what was it?
Corona.
Oh, man. Yeah, it had to have a Rock Farmer's Delight.
I think it was actually the Rock Farmer's daughter, but oh god, that thing was delicious. It was like a freaking strawberry milkshake.
Well, I think someone had granted the drink predates the character, I think, but someone described it as Flufflepuff in a glass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was an extremely good drink. Little fruity. It was worth it. I wish I could have finished mine though, but I needed to know when to stop.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing about the AFK Tavern. Be careful what you order, because dear God, do you get the food you pay for.
Oh, what was the giant dish that
Josh Dean got?
Yes, that Josh Dean got.
It was an upgrade to the Reaver, and yes, I'm fairly sure that it's a Reaver from Mass Effect, but yes. It was tater tots, a bun, chili, beef, more tater tots, I think a little bit of blue cheese, more tater tots, more chili. You could feed an entire table with that thing.
Even, no, it's true, because even AC Racebest's friend, as he likes to call him, Panama Matt, ordered the same thing, and he just looks at me when I sit next to him. I can't finish this. It's like, but I'm gonna try.
And then there was the Orc Burger with the $31 upgrade to the Thrall. We asked what made it $31 worth of upgrade. They took the Orc Burger, which is already huge. It's got it's heavier than my fist as far as the food. Or bigger, whatever. But huge, throw on another patty, a chicken patty, 2 6-ounce steaks, and I think a thing of chili, and some bacon. And then you've got a Thrall.
Oh, wow. I mean, and I thought the Orc Burger I had was big.
Yeah, it took my brother 2 days to eat his Fell Orc.
And you know what? That place was just amazing. If we could go back there, probably, if I could go back there right now just to have some more food from that place, I probably would.
Oh, it was great.
But I guess convention-related viral. How many of the other gaming panels did you manage to partake in, if any?
Well, unfortunately, due to scheduling and trying to get everything secured for our panel, we were unable to actually catch the Legends of Equestria panel.
Oh.
Which is unfortunate, but...
Did you hear how that went, though?
I actually have not heard a single thing about that. But we did manage to, record the games Ponies Play that has every gaming entity there, with the exception of one gentleman we ran into who actually did the ROM edit for Legend of Zelda Link to the Past that puts Derpy in as Link. We ran into him. We actually got a short interview with him, though. And then we managed to record the My Little Investigations panel, which has a little bit more info from last year. So if you guys want that, you're just going to have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And where by chance could we find this?
It will be up on the Everfree Radio YouTube channel once I actually get it done.
But you mean you're not working on it right now?
You can have the stream or you can have the panel. Make your pick.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. I don't want to check the feed to see what people are saying right now.
I gotta say, Varl, actually, I hadn't heard of that ROM hack before. I might need to help to have you send me a link or help me find that, because that sounds like something I need to check out.
Yeah, actually the easiest way to find it is actually just go on EQD and search back about a year for games. That's how I found it.
Google it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of slipped under the radar. But, I think there's one thing we have actually been forgetting this whole thing. The vendor hall.
Oh, yes.
I think I managed to be in there for like a good 5 minutes. You guys actually, you did a... I know the QDR guys, QDR Crusaders, had gone through there, but someone else had gone with Peter New through the hall, didn't they?
I don't remember that.
There's some great B-roll that we weren't able to get up between panels that definitely is going to be worth. We got to get that uploaded here.
There's a lot of B-roll we need to get up somehow.
Like the fire pipe or the fire extinguisher, sprinkler pipes. There we go. The sprinkler pipes bouncing up and down 4 inches either way in the garage during Silva's set.
How much did that because they brought it up at the closing ceremonies, but I'm just wondering how many people heard about that.
Apparently, from what was said at the closing ceremonies, we actually, with all the bronies in the dance hall, myself included, we actually measured on the Richter scale. I don't remember what was the magnitude, but apparently we had hit it.
They had said 1.0, but
It wasn't a real one. It was actually Vigilant Watch had the accelerometer in his iPhone sitting on the AV stage at the back, and it was actually registering 1G. So.
Well, technically it should register 1G because
Well,
technically gravity is going to be providing 1G, should it not?
Don't you
I
muddy
don't know,
the
but-
issue with your fancy mathematics.
All I know is that there were a lot of people up because I was running cable for most of that, or feeding cable to the camera. They brought all these people up on stage at that one point, but then they quickly kind of got them off. So I think that was perhaps a little over the what the stage was built for.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of people up on that stage.
They had any more people on there, that stage would have collapsed.
Yeah. No.
And the joke was that, with everybody jumping up and down during the night, we weren't worried about the stage. We were worried about the hotel floor.
That floor was bouncing 3 inches.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I went and I saw the video. It was live streamed, so I couldn't see too clear. I seriously need to see that. Because I believe it though, because that place was packed. They did a good job with that because I'd been to a convention, to a concert before. I'd seen some of the ones in the stream, and it's like they left for the end. They left Eurobeat. They left Silverhound. They left Mike the Microphone. They left the big names for the end. So everybody stuck around to see those guys, right? And so it's not like it petered off until 2. It went right up until 2 a.m.
That was ridiculous.
It was...
last year though, we were, I think, 2 or 3 floors down. You could, if you stood in the washroom, you could hear the hotel just creaking under because it wasn't just settling or anything. The rhythmic jumping up and down, you could hear it in the structure of the hotel.
Yeah, and they have twice the amount of people in the room this year. Think about this for a moment. When I actually talked to them during the acoustic night, they had over 500 bronies in that room. The electronic music is always more popular in this fandom. So there might have been 6 to 600. Now take into account each brony weighs at least 100 pounds. Multiply that by 500. At least.
Yeah,
and then have them jumping up and down at the same time in cadence.
And that's still being very modest, too. So realistically, I'm surprised we didn't break the floor.
Because there was at least, my math may be really off, but at least 4 tons bouncing up and down?
No. It was closer to 40 tons.
Wow. And to keep in mind, too, that, which hopefully sometime in the near future I can get some pictures up online for you guys, but I was actually out during Pony Stock, day 2, when everyone was, lining up for it, and the entire line wrapped around the convention hall, and then wrapped outside, and then, wrapped around the building. So there were a lot of people in attendance for this, and, a lot of them were really excited just to get in. So, you could definitely tell that people were just pumped to be there, and you could tell by the way they were dancing, too.
They should have had a auxiliary concert in the barcade underneath.
Yeah, I know they should have.
Oh, God.
That might have been bad, because convention center or not, I don't think it's intended for 35, 40 tons of not just weight in there, but yeah, that was a lot of jumping.
Well, if you want a little more reference, okay, second floor in the garage, they have a little lobby for the elevator. The doors were smacking the foundation.
That's right.
Please tell me that's in the video too.
I actually recorded a little bit of that with Vigilant Watch. We were bored, so we kind of went and started recording some B-roll.
It was impressive B-roll. I got to see it. It's a shock what we can do when we all do things together, especially to almost cause the floor to move up and down by 4 to 5 inches. But my biggest concern is, with seeing how this concert turned out, there's going to be a lot more bronies in attendance than at BronyCon, so...
Well,
I'm wondering how
talking to Josh Dean, that's not going to be an issue, because they have BronyCon's always been really good about having proper convention centers, ground floor stuff.
Right. That's going to be really good, because I don't want us to break a floor.
Well,
That
all you
would
have to do
be-
is just learn how to crowd surf.
Yeah. Which I believe happened at the concert as well.
That's true. Plus, we did get to see a lot of people out dancing. Some familiar names were even out in the crowd, just boogieing down, so to speak. It was just a fun time, and if you guys get the chance to see the videos once they're up, are they up yet?
Well, the concert?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the concert's gonna be a little while, but, it's
being
gonna be
worked on.
awesome.
It's being worked on, yeah.
Yeah, and once it's out, you're gonna have to all watch it, because you know what? Viral demands it. No, you're just gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it all just to see for the people that played. And
Am I gonna have to do this?
you might.
You might, yes.
Okay, hold on, I'm breaking out the phone. Draco's
Oh,
gonna
no.
kill me.
No.
Draco's gonna kill me.
He should be here.
He should, but he kind of blew up his computer.
Oh, so
Oh, here we go. And of course, it probably didn't come through.
oh, we heard it.
Oh, no, it went through, yeah.
It went through.
So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because again, being in the main stage, it's the same panels that it usually are. There were some nice touches, like the party hour, the writer one, like with Pink Fluffy Unicorns. Come on, who can forget that? Fantastic charity auction. I mean, I'd been hearing some disappointing news from a lot of the charity auctions in some recent conventions, and so to actually see things go for what they should be at these events was a relief. I think they ended up with just over 21,000, which is a great take. But then again, they did it on the Saturday as well.
Exactly.
Not the
kicker.
Sunday when some people are already gone, all that other jazz. I really wish I could have seen more of the community panels, but I know that some of these are going to get posted, and coming up for BronyCon, I think that the coverage of that is going to be absolutely crazy. But it's going to be a tough bar to beat. I mean, they worked out a lot of the kinks from Everfree Northwest last year. Being in one venue definitely helped rather than two, not having everything bottlenecked by those elevators. So they managed to. They had a ton of guests last year, so I don't know if I'd necessarily say surpass the spectacle that they set for themselves last year, but sure as hell this was a fantastic convention. Had a lot of fun. Wish I could have met more people, but that's part of working at it. And we're just gonna have to see if BronyCon coming up in 3 weeks? Just under 3 weeks here. We'll see how that turns out.
And that's going to be a fun con to be in attendance of, to both be attending and working. So that's going to be such an amazing con to be at.
This shameless BronyCon plug brought to you by Kaniro and Everfree Network.
Oh, shameless nothing. It's going to be my first time to attend BronyCon, so you know what? I'm excited to go.
I think it's going to be a lot of people's first time to attend BronyCon. Like, I know some people that were able to make last year that weren't, and hey, they surpassed the pre-reg, so yeah, bring it on, right?
And then they're going to have, how many people waiting to buy tickets at the door? That's going to be a shock.
Yeah, well, I think that just about wraps up our con wrap-up, wouldn't you say, guys?
Yeah, I think it does. Just want to give one quick shout-out, if that would be okay for you, Viral.
You're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, well, fine, I'll do it anyway, but you know what? It was amazing, getting to work with some of you guys, both EFN staff and Everfree Northwest staff. You guys did such an amazing job, and it was an honor to work alongside of you guys. And those of you who I got to have the pleasure of meeting, you guys were amazing. Keep it up, and I hope to see you next year.
Indeed. Any parting words, Ramble?
Kind of said them. I think.
Okay.
I did a little bit of a wrap up. Sorry about that, but I guess did I prematurely wrap up there?
No,
but
you're good.
again,
I just wasn't paying too much attention.
Shame on you. No, I mean it was great. Like I managed to meet. I ran into last year, Viral. Actually, I think it was just a couple weeks before going down. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, I did see you at last year's Everfree. Kanyero, just had the pleasure of meeting you and working with you at the convention, and some other people like Vigilant Watch. I mean, that guy was just crazy. The list of people would be too long to go through here, but no, just all around, like that's the thing. A lot of the community panels, it's great. You've got such a variety there, so many people to cover, because honestly there's just so much being produced by this fandom. But when if you're in the main hall and a lot of the panels, it's nice to see people mix it up, the questions, because the same VAs, they're great to see, but just having them answer the same questions, it's if you've gone to the conventions before, it's nice seeing. You want to see new stuff, right?
Yes, like what was one of the interesting questions got asked to Miss Andrea Libman was would she ever consider going back into her engineering field if she ever wanted to? That's something that you don't get to see asked often, and that was a pleasure to see asked. That was amazing.
Yep. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at that panel, but from my view, the con much better than last year. I will be the first to admit I was actually very skeptical of whether they could actually live up to it, given the significant decrease in VAs and community guests. But, it just goes to show, less is sometimes more.
Being modest can take you a long way. You don't always have to go over the top to be amazing.
Met a ton of great people. Got to meet up with Giant Mosquito of the Ask Dr. Adorable Tumblr blog. That guy is awesome.
Amazing.
We ran into Calpain of Equestria Daily. Guy's awesome.
So, getting to see some of the other people in the community who do so much and, have done so much for all of us, getting to see them, and shake their hands, give them a hug, and just be like, thank you. It's awe-inspiring. Even to some of us who've done that haven't done as much yet, to still have that come back to us. That's, it's heartwarming, and that's what I love about cons, is you get to meet so many people, and they do so. They're all of them are so thankful for what others have done for each other, whether it's for making a project, to do a shout out, to just work with each other. Even if it's for someone, hey, getting a chance to room with somebody, it's nice to see. It's a real blessing.
Indeed. And with that all said, this has been Bluescreen Bronies with special guests. I'm Viral.
I'm
Ramble.
And we can fix that in post.
Oh God.
Fix it in post. Worst words you ever want to hear.
Yep. We will see you guys next week. Hey there, folks. Viral here from the Bluescreen Bronies. Now, normally we'd have Draco or D-Pad or even Crescendo here to give us their lovely opinion on some of the video game news. But this week, we're going to do an Everfree Northwest wrap-up, but I don't have any of those people here. But I do have the ever-useful to Everfree network, the one, the only, Ramble.
Hey there. Thanks, Viral. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I am still recovering from that convention.
Ugh, no kidding.
Half of what people did. Anytime people were going for food, it's like all these pipe dreams of going to actual restaurants, and you end up back at the Denny's again.
Yeah, we actually did manage to, when Draco arrived, we went with him, my brother, and Tim Grobner to this little place in the International District. I think it was like Ming's or Ping's. I can't remember the name of it, but it was this little hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurant. The guy serving us didn't speak a lick of English, but dear God, were those pork dumplings delicious.
But yeah, that would have been like what, $5 trip and like an hour round, or hour and a half round trip. Like that's a big absence for the. Like that's the problem, is that the convention is going pretty much all day. It's up at 9, and like pretty much every day is going until 2 in the morning. At Pony Stock, the acoustic one on Friday night, and that was actually Michelle Krieber had her concert in there as well. And then they had the kind of the electronic segment, Pony Stock, on Saturday. So I know that there were some pretty late nights there.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Now, as far as the registration went, I could definitely say 1,000 times better than last year.
The convention awesomeness that was going on, but I was there, but I wouldn't necessarily say I attended the convention. Opening ceremonies, you know, it's like there's usually nothing too great. Though they did work out. Actually, in the opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies, I think if people have seen some of the video that was posted, they actually kind of worked like a skit with some people kind of going on, and that kind of is to bookend the convention, and that was kind of nice. That was a little bit of a little extra touch outside the regular programming, and it keeps the opening ceremonies. I think that was kind of the royal coronation part that they talk about in the programming. It wasn't just like oh hi, welcome, everyone worked real hard, which is, I mean, it's good. That's kind of when you show your appreciation, and it's kind of to get everything started, but it's sort of distinguished, you know, the opening and closing ceremonies a little bit. It's made it a little more interesting. But other than that, actually, what did they have? They had the Pinkie Pie's Party Hour.
Oh God, that was hilarious. I think it's actually up on YouTube by now.
It is. No, if people haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend that, because like I'd been at PAX in 08, right? And you've got Left 4 Dead, you've got Dead Space, you've got StarCraft 2, you've got all these big games releasing. And
I somehow managed to avoid Concrud, though.
I did too. Like LPU, I think that knocked out most of our staff for couple weeks, but it was so draining. They only had like four venues or something, but there was a lot of programming.
Yeah, definitely a lot more stuff to do this year. In that case, why don't we just start off at the beginning? So when did you actually get there, Ramble?
I got there on the 3rd. Couldn't really do any setup because none of the equipment or anything was down there. It was all coming down with Cowboy Dave. So a couple of us were just kind of hanging out, seeing the downtown area, because they got the tram right there. Like, I don't know if anyone's planning on going next year. If you get there in advance, it's only like a 30-minute ride downtown. They got that market, you know, by the water there. I don't know, it was good. And then there was the 4th of July, but that was a bit of a gong show because that was when everyone was arriving. So it's like, hey, we're going to head down and see the fireworks. Nope, got to get badges sorted out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on the fireworks. What was our 4th of July thing? We all met at the Denny's and went back to the hotel room and passed out.
So many people the last year, because it was at the Holiday Inn, right? Which was basically right next to the Denny's, and everyone's like, oh, that stupid Denny's, I'm never going back there. And that's half of what people hear. there were a lot of concerns and complaints that cropped up last year. They really ironed out. Granted, there's still delays because I think they had some issues with some badges going missing or something. I don't forget the reason. I really forget the reason. But you couldn't just give your registration. You actually had to show ID for the registration line this year, which, I mean, it was a blessing and a curse because my badge ended up in limbo for quite some time.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that badge issue, and somehow I end up with all of the EFN badges.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that. And they did pre-reg badges on the 4th as well.
Yeah, that definitely helped with having, let you get your badges early.
Oh no, for sure.
Now, on Friday, when the con started, I ended up having to do quite a bit of running around to make sure everything was actually set for the Bluescreen Bronies panel. So, you, however, were in the main stage. Care to give us some highlights?
Oh Lord, highlights. Well, I got to say, working at these conventions, it's I was in the back on a laptop for most of it, so I kind of popped my head up occasionally and managed to glean some of the